Hello, everybody. Hope everybody's having a great week. Happy, Friday, the weekend. That the Daniel Craig's SNL thing is everywhere on Twitter during the weekend, where because the weekend hosted, so he's just like, ladies and gentlemen, the weekend. It's like, yeah,
The
we
weekend.
know, we get it. um, this is, of course, your guys are back with the Bodacious Rant with Burn and Rye, and as you guessed it, we're talking some more She-Hulk, which the second episode dropped this week. And before we get started with the spoilers, guys, don't forget to ring the bell, give us a like, and please press that subscribe button because we do appreciate it, guys. Burn, shall we get started?
Yeah, I mean, we should just get right into it. It's a good amount of stuff to talk about. Not a lot in terms of like craziness, but it's a really good plot progression I think we're getting here.
Yeah, which, man, the MCU just wants to punish its heroes sometimes, especially this second generation of them. I feel like right out the gate, just because, even though she saved those people from Jamila Jamil's character Titania, which I thought was an interesting thing that she's a super influencer, like
Mm-hmm.
she's a enhanced or like a super person. So I thought that was pretty cool. Definitely kind of like, okay, so that's gonna be a more common thing. Um, I thought it was messed up that she got fired for it because it was a mistrial. But it's like it's not her fault. It was Titania's fault. But again, because she did the right thing, she had to get punished for it. Much like the Avengers of Civil War, they never hurt anybody. They saved lives. Am I right? Or am I right?
Yes, exactly. Scarlet Witch didn't blow up a building full of Wakandans. That didn't
They were
happen.
there by their own design. Okay,
Oh
it's
my
not her
god.
fault. I'm just kidding. No, that's horrible.
King
Um,
T'Chaka shouldn't have been standing there. Oh my god.
He shouldn't have. Had he moved like 20 feet more into the building instead of parading himself, he would have been fine. Oh my god, imagine if that was deadly true. I feel like
Oh
that's
no.
maybe like a few people who think that. Anyways, um, it was a pretty straightforward episode. Like you said, Burn, plot wise, where she's struggling to find a job. Everyone's rejecting her because of her superhero status. I wouldn't be surprised if it also has something to do with the fact that she's related to the Hulk, like she is a Hulk. Because if she
hmm
was like an Iron Man character, or maybe even Cap, I think it would have been a lot more easier for her to find. But you know what I mean. I don't know if that came to thought at all. That was just kind of what I was like putting together in the show.
Yeah, the state of the MCU as it stands right now is a little bit unclear in terms of new superheroes that pop up, because it seems like when we got Miss Marvel, when she like came to light and they discovered there was a kid with powers, the Department of Damage Control immediately went after her, right? And that it's different here in this case with She-Hulk. Like, I don't think anyone came after her and like tried to arrest her because she's a super, which makes me like think like what is going on with the whole like Sokovia Accords. Like, are they still in effect? Like, do superheroes have to like register with the government? Like, how exactly is that work? I don't think they've really gotten into it. It would be interesting if they got into it in this show, though, seeing it is playing on the legal courtroom procedural type thing. Maybe they could address that here, but yeah, like it is weird, like how like the public and different arms of the government are responding to new superheroes that do pop up. It just seems inconsistent at this point, but maybe that's on purpose. I don't know. We're yet to see.
Yeah, because I mean they could play it off that Kamala was Pakistani and stuff, so that's also kind of a reason why they went after her, playing on that whole
Mm-hmm.
government trope. But also just throwing this out there, maybe Damage Control isn't after her because not only was she a deputy DA, but she's also related to the Hulk. So I'm sure all their families and
True.
stuff or people known to the Avengers are monitored and stuff. So I don't know but that is a fair point. I didn't think about the damage control aspect, but um, it was interesting that that guy from The Conjuring. I don't know the actor's name, but the guy who she was going to court against, the one that her mistrial happened, is not giving her a job. But I thought it was messed up that it's like, no, because you're superhero division, you have to be She-Hulk, or else you don't get the job. It's like, what the like that was a
Mm-hmm.
little fucked up. It was funny, but it was also not even funny. It was just kind of perverse. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and that is something interesting that I noticed in this episode, where last week we got her origin and stuff, and now we're sort of dealing with the fact of how people around her are responding, and it seems like like the theme at least, or the undertone of this episode is control. Is that other people are trying to control her in different ways. Like we have her friend in the bar saying, "Hey, give the people what they want. They want She-Hulk. They're celebrating you and stuff." Then you have her new or her old boss saying, "Hey, we can't associate with you, being She-Hulk because that brings a negative aspect and could possibly hurt our cases going forward." And then now we have her new boss, Holloway, where he's like, "No, you have to be this. Like, in order to work here, you have to be She-Hulk." So it seems like they're like different aspects of her life are taking her own control of her power away from her. Like they're forcing her to do a certain thing. Be She-Hulk, don't be She-Hulk. That was just very interesting. It seems like Jen's like almost having to wrestle her own identity away from other people.
Yeah, even the friend, I'm like, I don't know if Ginger Gonzaga's character is really going to be as good of a friend, or maybe she's also just kind of riding the high that, holy shit, my friend is actually now a superhero, kind of. I'm very
Mm-hmm.
curious to see that. I did like when she was going through the office and stuff. Her fourth wall break was just talking about basically her thoughts. Like, I feel like I'm a diversity hire. I feel like no one's going to really appreciate me for my actual knowledge of the law and stuff. So I like that. The one guy I know I've seen that actor before, but I can't think of where. Um, I wonder what his character was going to be. The one who gives her the whole work the
Oh,
the gift
Pug.
basket.
Yeah, the
Yeah,
gift basket.
yeah. Is that his name? Pug? I didn't really know if
Yeah,
he
his
had a
name was
name.
Pug. Yeah, he walks in and introduces himself. I don't know what his real name is, but he says, "Hey, my name's Pug." He has a little bit like seems like a southern accent. Um, yeah, he was in Arrow. He was Adrian Chase, and I forgot
That
which season
guy.
that was. But yeah, that's I had to look it up because I like you. I recognize like where do I know this guy from? And yeah, I guess I had seen him in Arrow when that was airing a time back. But yeah, that whole gift basket thing was funny. Just like I have gave you a map to the good bathroom for pooping. It was just like, oh, okay. I
And she,
immediately like this guy.
and she was kind of like, "Oh, thank you. That's actually kind of nice to know."
Yeah,
Um,
anybody who works like knows there's a good spot like in the office for pooping. Like it's like a secret, basically that a well-known secret.
unless you're at Patty's Pub in Pennsylvania, where you don't know which bathroom to use for that. So, uh, and then just the big, I guess, the hook, not the hook, but it's like, I guess, the catch of her getting this job also is her first case was defending Emil Blonsky,
Mhm.
which, for those of you, if you guys haven't seen all the MCU movies, Tim Roth played this character, Emil Blonsky, aka the Abomination, in the Incredible Hulk years ago with Edward Norton, going on 13 years old now. It is
Mhm.
old. Um, and he still aged really well, but I liked where she has that conflict of interest. Like, he tried to kill my cousin, and again, it's like, well, if you also don't do this case, you don't have a job either, so take it or leave it. Which
Mhm.
is, I'm like, god damn, this is just a crooked. I'm not liking this new law firm at all. But I guess that kind of what happens. I wonder if that's how it's like when you go into a private practice versus like the DA that she was with, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
um, and again, speaking of damage control, how we were talking about that with Kamala, she goes into a giant prison of it, and I thought that was kind of interesting that they had her sign something. Oh, you don't step past the yellow line, and we see the same prison from Shang-Chi where Wong opened up the portal in the locker room to take him back,
Mhm.
and I wasn't expecting Tim Roth to be such a reformed character, Like, I thought it was still going to be kind of like a little scummy. I don't know his end game, though. I don't know if he's actually being true in the reform or if he's just trying to, a typical, like, criminal trying to sell that he's reformed when he really isn't?
Yeah, it's really hard to gauge at this point because, like you said, we haven't seen this character at least in outside of Shang Chi in the last like 14 years, and the last time we saw him, he was like Jen said, like doing a rampage in the middle of Harlem and like destroying cities and stuff. So when he makes his case here, it is an interesting perspective. He does mention like, yeah, I was working for the government. Like he was directly working under Thunderbolt Ross. So there's some accountability there that does have to go to those people, and the fact that they got off scot free and he kind of became the fall guy is a little bit like, yeah, I can kind of empathize with that. But like you said, it's like, what is Is there like is there like is he trying to pull something basically? Like is the other shoe gonna drop at this point? Like is he feigning his reformation and just in the hopes of getting out, or is he legitimate? Like he's like the guy does he has spent the last 14 years in prison, so it's like that could potentially change a person. And like Jen said, should we believe in reform? Basically, should we believe in like the fact that people can change? So, I guess we'll see that going forward. But yeah, I'm very curious to see like if he is actually wanting to retire in a place with his seven pen pals like bought for him, like in just living out his life with them. Like, is that true, or is that something else? Does that lead something a little bit more into Thunderbolts territory?
I was just thinking that kind of clicked. Like, oh, what if the pen pals are the Thunderbolts? Because
Mm-hmm.
we have U.S. Agent, Winter Soldier, Yelena as one of them.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, Valentina would be the fourth. I don't know what the other Thunderbolts would be, but you never know. That is a fair thing to bring up. And I mean, again, yeah, he does bring up a good point. Like, I wanted to be Captain America, and that's what Thunderbolt Ross used. He used that serum that was kind of like a replicant of the Super Soldier
Mm-hmm.
serum, but it drove him mad a little bit. But he also, it was kind of like a corruption of the soul. You know what I mean? Where he just kind of lost control in that movie and became a real dick. So,
Yeah, it's just
uh,
like John Walker, like the serum only enhances what's there, and that we saw what it did to Walker, and then we also saw what it did to Emil Blonsky. So yeah, how much at fault is he really? Like it's one of those like ethical questions that it's interesting to consider.
yeah, it's a very like can go either way. Can we dive into the whole soul of a character, or is it really the chemical and what that could add, biologically? So it's crazy stuff. If again, it's all fictional, so we can have real fun with it. But I like that at the end of the episode, she calls Bruce just to tell him I am taking this. Are you kind of like, are you okay? In a really funny way because she's really nervous and trying to bring up all these points. And he's like, it's okay. Like he actually sent me a really nice letter, a hike, because he wrote all these haikus in his little notebook. So I
Hmm.
thought that was pretty funny. And we see him fly away in that ship from last episode. So I'm curious, like, is it going to be about? I feel like it has to be about his son. I don't know what else it
Yeah.
could be, or is it reference to Sword? How Nick Fury's been off planet since Endgame. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, I assume it has something to do with, like possibly like a World War Hulk type situation. At least with the hints that we've been getting so far. Like you said, it could definitely be something to do with Sword and Nick Fury and the Marvels potentially, out there in space since that's where they're at the moment. Um, but yeah, it being a Sakaar ship, I think it has to do something with that planet and whatever happened in those 2 years that he was there as the Hulk. So I think they're definitely setting that up, and I'm excited to see where that goes because that could be really interesting.
Yeah, I'm very curious to see that the Marvels. Who knows, man? That's a fair point because he was talking to Captain Marvel at the end of Shang-Chi as well. So
Hmm.
we'll have to see where it goes with that. And then the footage of from Shang-Chi again, man, I've referenced him so many times. I'm sorry, I sound like a broken record, but the clip of them fighting in the Golden Daggers Club, it was like, ah, shit. Well, this is gonna be. I just love her thing too. Just like, God damn it, like
Hmm.
this makes it a lot harder. It's like, yeah, no shit. Oh man. Other than that, nothing really stood out to me too much this episode. Again, I thought it was pretty straightforward. Being 7 minutes shorter, I kind of felt the difference in timing. You know what I mean? I just felt like it dropped. Oh, actually, I forgot to say. How did you feel about the dinner scene with the family? I thought that was hilarious.
Yeah, I was about to say a lot of the stuff with the family that we got was pretty hilarious because like it feels sort of like you can relate to her as a character where you go back home and you're getting treated like just another member of the family. You may be successful in other aspects of your life, but once you come home, it's like no, you're just always gonna be that cousin or that son or that like family member basically. So that was really funny how like everyone at the dinner table was just like, oh, like you should do this, like tell me about Hawkeye, or like you should change your hair. It's like, you lost your job, so it's like they're coming at her from all different different aspects. And yeah, the family was hilarious.
And the
I wasn't
dipshit
in.
cousin. I
Yeah.
thought he was funny. Just, hey, I got a promotion at Best Buy. I'm a manager now. It's like, oh my, like that is cool, but come on, dude. Now you're just rubbing in the fact that she's unemployed. Like, thanks a lot, man. And everybody's like,
Hmm.
yeah, that's great. Like he's selling, has a job. It's like, wow. Wait, should we just keep jabbing at her with this?
But that heart to heart that she does have with her dad, like in the basement, was really nice. Like him offering support for her. It's very different from this family here, and then the dynamic that we saw with Kamala. Where they were like a little bit more like, apprehensive at first of the whole superhero thing. And this family here is a little bit more well adjusted because, like they said, we had a Hulk in the family already. It's like you didn't do anything like destroy a city, okay? So we're gonna be fine.
Yeah, I mean, this new generation of heroes, like starting with Spider-Man, I'm really digging the whole family being supportive of it. Um, so I think that's kind of like again very heartwarm. It has a heartwarming aspect to the show where instead of the family being so depressing about it. Um, and then again, the post credit scene, another hilarious one where, the dad mentions, "Hey, can you help me out with some stuff around the house?" And we see that she's helping and lifting the car up outside. The cousin's like, "I don't know what we're doing. I can't figure this out. Am I going right? Am I going left?" And she's taking all the water. It's like, "Dad, I appreciate you want to be hydrated, but this is ridiculous." It's
It's
just, "Oh,
just
I
too
got it,
much. Yeah,
honey."
like two arms full of water kegs.
And then as soon as she puts the TV up, the final touch, just the cousin, I could have done that. Like, she looks at him like, really? Then why didn't you, kind of?
Like, sure, but okay.
Yeah, again, I'm still digging this show. It keeps getting review bombed by a bunch of just stupid trolls. So I'm trying. I would tell guys. I would say if you're looking at that, just ignore it. Definitely keep giving the show a try, in my opinion, because it's solid so far, and it's a good character study of like someone who's definitely like I guess kind of like the Tony Stark situation where everybody knows who she is, and she's trying to navigate that. So, um, anything else you want to add about this episode, Burn?
I mean, no, just to expand on your point, yeah, like the show's funny. I think it's really like well written in the comedy aspects, and it is an interesting look at this superhero life. Someone having to juggle an actual work life with superheroing. It's something I don't think we've seen in MCU so far, but. The Tatiana Maslany, she's very relatable. I think she's doing a really great job with the character so far. And yeah, I would just to echo your only complaint with this. It's just I feel like yeah, the episodes they do feel a little bit short, and it is half an hour, so it's like oh, by the time it's over, it's like oh man, I want a little bit more, but I mean that's really the only negative thing I can lobby at it. I mean, yeah, sure, the CGI isn't like the greatest, but it's good enough. I think it's really good for TV, and it doesn't take me out of it at all. And bad CGI never really does. Um, but the fact that it's like really well written and I'm really invested in the character, I can overlook even just the minor like little nitpicks I could have. But other than that, I'm really enjoying it so far.
Yeah, I mean it's still pretty serviceable even for Marvel. Like Marvel's bad CGI is still pretty good compared to the rest of the industry. So, I'm fine with it. But guys, let us know in the comments. Are you liking this show so far? Do you want to who do you want to see in this show? Because there's gonna be a lot more cameos coming up. So, until then, keep staying tuned, guys. House of Dragons coming out again this weekend, so we'll have another review for that drop in. And again, no real movies I can think of coming out at the moment. There is that George Miller movie I do want to check out, the 3,000 Years of Longing.
Hmm.
Um, and again, Rings of Power is coming out soon, which there's a decent amount of hype for. Some people are really
Yes.
saying it's great, like one of the best cinematic experiences of television. So that's a bold statement. So until then, guys, stay bodacious and keep on ranting for the both of us.
Yeah, everybody. And, we're going to be here talking about this and all that other really cool stuff. So thank you guys for watching. And, until then, we'll see you guys on the next one.